more common misconceptions that the average American has about their expectations of police officers that you think probably not productive?
Well, probably the most important thing is many people think that there aren't reasons for police to contact you that you're not aware of. So a very common one, a scenario we see throughout many YouTube videos, which some of you which you've reviewed, are someone's walking down the street, maybe on their cell phone, and have a cell phone camera, and an officer rolls up to them, and also roll up because that's kind of how they do it, and gets out and say, "Hey, can you come over here and talk to me?" Now they go, "Hey," the reaction of the citizen, the person that's actually, generating this film, or one of his friends is, or I should say video because they don't use film anymore, is, "I'm not doing anything wrong." Well, first of all, you're not aware of what someone may have said when they called dispatch. Again, officers are given a amount of information, and then based on their training experience, they respond and understand that depending on what's said, translating this in real time to officers in the field for the most part. Now, some dispatch centers, you have a 911 operator who then transfers it to dispatch. We can get in all the permutations on how this can be a very bad game of telephone. And in my experience, it is a bad game of telephone sometimes. That officers then are given information on what somebody else, not you, the person that the police are contacting, but someone who is a quote unquote observer or reporting party, has told them. So, for example, if you're just walking down the street, but the person sees you and thinks you're looking into cars to burgle them, may not be aware of that. Now, based on that information, does an officer who hasn't contacted the reporting party yet, by the way, because that's not how law enforcement generally works, do they have a right to stop and detain you to determine whether or not you're actually in the commission of crime? Now, lawyers may say no. Fortunately, the Supreme Court said yes, for the general most part, given that if a reporting party is A, identified, B, based on the information coming in law enforcement officer, it raises the level of reasonable suspicion, does the officer have the right to then contact you and determine? It definitely helps, though, if the officer, when they arrive on scene, sees you doing the suspicious activity, right, associated with whatever the reporting party said. But if you don't know what's going on, my advice to people is generally don't assume you have all the facts that the officer has, because the officer doesn't know what you know. The officer only knows what someone's told him. And don't assume that they said, yeah, this guy's just walking down the street really calm with his two friends. And another thing I've realized is a lot of people don't realize they may have broken the law, and they have. That's another issue.